Virginia Dahlmeyer. For those of you that know me as Jenny, my real name's Virginia. And I brought you here today to talk to you about meeting and greeting the clients for the first time. In the spring, some of you, or maybe all of you, will be taking clients for the first time. And there's a few little tips that I'd like to share with you that might help your professional service go a little bit easier. I'm going to start out with the appointment book. This is really an important part of knowing how to be prepared, because if you check the appointment book every day and know exactly how you want to set up and be ready for your client, it'll help you. So inside the appointment book, each girl has their own name, their own column, and under their name, their client will be put, the client's name will be put down, and then their telephone number and the service that they'll be receiving. Now, if you are the receptionist for that week, you won't receive a client, or the dispensary, because that job is important and it needs all of its time. So once you find out what client you have, what they want, then you should know how to set your station up. When you set your station up, if you're going to have a chemical service, you're going to use 2 towels to drape them. Samantha, would you come up so I can possibly drape them? For a chemical service, a lot of times they'll have a hoodie on, and you'll ask them if they can remove that hoodie, because if they're getting a haircut or any service, that's going to be in the way. So do you mind removing your hoodie? I will say that Samantha is getting a collar in a chemical service. So you need 2 towels for draping of a chemical service. The first towel will go under the apron. And the second towel will go on top of the apron. And this way it protects their clothes, and it protects them from getting wet. If you have just a haircut service, you'll just use a paper towel or a neck strip. For chemical services, you're supposed to have a cloth or a plastic apron, and a cloth apron can be used for just dry cuts or dry services. Thank you, Samantha. The next thing I want to really talk to you about is the rotation chart. Once you do complete a service of color or manicure, pedicure, you will look in the rotation chart, find your name, find the service that you gave, and write the date beside your name so that we know that you have given that service, so that we can, the next time a caller comes in or whatever you did, we won't give it to you again. We'll give it to somebody else so they can get the experience. Once you know that you have a client, you need to know that you have to dress appropriately. And that's not just for the people with clients, that's for all of you. You're all going to have to dress for lab, because you're going to be in the lab with the clients, whether you're doing a service or not. So there's a right way and a wrong way to dress. We don't allow tennis shoes in the lab. We don't allow flip-flops. We don't allow jeans with holes in it, because if you look appropriate and prepared and clean, the client's going to know that you take pride in yourself and that you're going to be interested in making them look good too. Now, Cody is an example. Stand up, Cody, and show them what we don't want. Cody looks like she rolled out of bed. And she didn't care to fix her hair today, and she didn't care to take care of herself. So, and Jessica looks appropriate. She did her hair. She looks nice. Her clothes look nice. Now, if you had to choose from these two, which one would you choose?
Cody. Jessica.
Jessica, yes, because if you look at Cody, you think, well, if she doesn't take time to take care of herself, she's not really going to care about what I do. Okay, another thing that I want to talk to you about is your attitude. Sometimes you're afraid. You'll look at the client's book, and you'll say, the appointment book, you'll say, oh, I'm giving a spiral perm, and I don't really think I know how to do that. Well, at that time, you could come to me, you can come to Ms. Reba, or you could check your text, you could get out the mannequin and practice. But what I don't like is when you go out in front of the client and say, I have a spiral perm, I can't do that. There's no way, I don't know how to do that. When you say that in front of the client, then they are scared, because then they have no faith in you, and they probably want to run out the front door. So if you know how, if you don't know how, you come to one of us and we will go over it before you do the service. Now, after you get them in the chair, before you drape them, you should have a consultation with them, ask them everything about what they want, what their lifestyle is, what kind of collar, perm, whatever you're going to be giving them, and you make sure that you have a connection with them and that you know exactly what they want before you start. And you should always be set up with your comb, brushes, shears, clippers, curling iron, and blow dryer, because once you get them seated and they tell you what you want, then you go digging through your bags, trying to find what you want. That takes up a lot of your time, plus it makes it look like you're disorganized. After you finish the client, you will take them out into the reception area, make sure that they're taken care of by the receptionist. You'll show them the products that you used on the hair, ask them if they'd like to buy any of the products, and after that, you'll ask them if they'd like to book another appointment. If they want to book another appointment, then you let the receptionist set them up. But a main important part of this is getting a customer card, a record card, where you'll put their name, and they'll fill it out when they come in, address, but your part that you fill out, if you give collar or a perm service, then you have to fill out the part every step that you did. If you want to include the cut, that would be fine too, because when they come back in, it could be a month, could be 2 months later. They'll say, I want my hair done exactly the same way you did it before. You'll have a record of that. The main part after they leave is cleanup. What you want to do is make sure that you disinfect all of your implements that you used, disinfect your station. You'll wash them and disinfect them in the dispensary, and you'll want to make sure that you wash and sanitize your hands before and after every client. And if you follow these rules and tips about setting up and sanitize and disinfect everything, what's your attitude, take pride in your appearance, I believe that you'll have a successful cosmetology service. And then the client may just request you and keep coming back to you. Thank you for allowing me a little bit of your lab time, but now I think we need to get back to business.